Hello, and welcome to The Art Will Not Be Changing. Little Gandalf kind of thing. I don't know. I don't even plan this, guys. It's just what happens. I am here. I am Christian DeMatteo, co-founder of Fugitive Poems. This is the Fugitive Poem Show. The art will not be changing. And thanks to my friend Tom Lynett, I am wearing a t-shirt from my friend Aaron Brown, Frog King Art. If you go to Frog King Art, you can get yourself one as well. It is a damn cool shirt, and I'm putting the link right there. Pardon me, in the chat. We've got, we do cool stuff on the show. We've got more cool stuff tonight. And as always, if you are wise enough to go to fugitivepoems.com, let's put that in the chat, fugitivepoems.com, and order yourself a copy of Monsters, Beasts, and Bastards, now in its second printing and selling fast. I've only got, frankly, a handful on the website available. It is 192 pages of batshit comics about Monsters, Beasts, and Bastards. This is endless entertainment, all individual stories under that theme from the greatest indie comic artists around the world, which, as you know, is what we do with the Containment Breach series. We also have our sci-fi one of Clouds and Ether, and we have Myth Reborn, if you like your mythology scrambled up like an egg. Order it now, and you will get the Fugitive Poem sticker and an incredibly cool, which I had to get made. These are not easily available. Parental advisory, explicit content stickers automatically. And as always, if you order during the show between 8 and 9 p.m. EST, I may just include a drawing done by me, the one you don't want a drawing from. There's also Blood Valkyrie in Vegas, a story of a Vegas showgirl who goes to a party that turns into a satanic blood orgy. And River, the first issue of a miniseries about a drug dealer who gets his hands on a time machine and proceeds to utterly destroy the universe. So lots of cool stuff there. And what are we doing today? Well, we have a dear friend of mine on, Mr. Daniel G. Wilson. Let me bring him to the stage.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Daniel. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to talk about your new project. Folks, I had the honor of being in Zona del Mare, which I like to translate as the bad touch place, which is not at all what it means.
Close enough. You're the Italian. I'll trust you there.
I have a story with Kenneth Fontano in here called, I'm so proud of this title, Albino Satanists in Heat. I'm looking for it here. There we go. Albino Satanists in Heat. Here's an awesome image from it. It is about a group of young people who go to Untermeyer Park in Yonkers, New York, if you know it, and run into a bunch of albino Satanists who are trying to bring the seed of the devil back to the earth. And from there, it becomes a meet cute with a lovely ending. No. Daniel has a bunch of great stories in here. It's a phenomenal anthology. It's a ton of fun. And it really pushes stories into fascinating areas. And I'm going to very proudly say that it is like 98% because of me that this warning is on the back.
I mean, yeah. I mean, some of the stories are pretty gnarly in general. Other stories are gnarly. So yeah, you don't want like some 5-year-old picking it up and then I'm getting like a call or like I'm getting on the Martin version of Oprah being like, is this book corrupting the minds of children? It's like, no.
Kids, you like fairy tales? Check out Zona del Mare.
Exactly.
banging the Jamaican fairy tales in there, you're really going to enjoy. It's you'll learn a valuable lesson about not succumbing to your lust for an albino Satanist priestess. Uh,
Exactly. Or, staying away from owls.
yeah.
Which is who turned into
Golden,
beautiful women.
people with golden noses.
Exactly.
I mean, listen, there's a lot to be learned from fairy tales. They were all pretty gnarly. And we just took it a couple of steps further in this book. Daniel, where can people get this? Because this is such a good book. People really should see it.
Well, I probably should. I haven't set up something like that before, but I should probably set up like a big cartel or something. But basically, if you hit me up on social media, we can make arrangements and I can send them to you anywhere in the world. Beauty of the Canadian Post Office. My socials are like Daniel_1876. Why I chose 1876 is a mystery even to me. That's on Instagram, and you can find me on Blue Sky, Daniel G. Wilson. My name, if you type my name into a search engine, you'll basically find me.
Why is that? You were telling me about this, and I didn't get a chance to check. Why are you so instantly findable on the Google?
So basically, when I was unlike a lot of people, like quote unquote young people, I never really did the whole anonymity thing online once I was over 18. Because I always figured I'm like, well, I want to do some cool stuff and basically be a public figure, I guess. So, I just did that, and so I started a band when I was 19. And then I also had been working as a writer as well. And so I learned from I was a teenager that the name Daniel Wilson is kind of nondescript. There are a lot of Daniel Wilsons. And so having the G in there, it rolls off the tongue and it just becomes a signature. Literally, I would be known by a lot of friends of mine as like just Daniel G. Wilson. Just that they wouldn't even call me Daniel, they just call me Daniel G. Wilson.
Just one word.
Yeah, like a Tribe Called Quest, you gotta say the whole thing. That's what they know me as. So it just stuck. So when you type my name in, like you just see the stuff I've written, my name and different stuff.
We've got another incredibly talented Canadian in the chat. Claudio Gerardo saying you people are disgusting and disturbing. I recommend 5 copies per person.
As do I.
Folks, you can get this right from the source. And Daniel will even write something in it to you or include a lewd photograph if that's what you're looking for. If you go in the chat and you will see Daniel at 1876 on Instagram or _ sorry, or go on Blue Sky to Daniel G. Wilson. Get this book. It's incredible. But what else should you get? Daniel's here to talk about a new series he's doing, which what you might not know about Daniel is that he is an incredibly well-read intellect who I don't know how can gather tons of information and not only hold it, but be able to access it regularly. My 49-year-old brain forgets something about 30 seconds after he learns it. And I am awed. Daniel has studied comics across the world, literature across the world, and has at his fingertips all these references. And the new comic is called Ivanhoe, which is the name of a famous novel. So why don't we start there? Why is your comic called Ivanhoe? Is there a connection? Oh, wait. Rich but not wealthy. 1886 is when they really knew how to party. They were in bed before dark, but games like Kick the Rock was very exciting. 1876. Thank you, Rich. And Rich with another found of historical knowledge. 100% right. So why Ivanhoe? What's the connection?
Well, basically, how do I describe this? Ivanhoe is a reference to a Jamaican, famous Jamaican criminal, and folk hero. So like Ivanhoe Martin was his name. He was he was active in like the late 40s. And kind of he's also kind of known by a nickname called Rygen. Uh and he became famous. Like, this is a guy who would like send photos of himself to like the Gleaner, one of the national newspapers, for like, you're not taking good photos of me, here, use this. And he died young too. He was like 24. He was in his 20s when he died, early to mid 20s. So after that happens, he became well known, like also as a folk hero type figure, because in Jamaica it's very common. We tend to root for the quote unquote bad guy, the outlaw, who kind of rages against the system. And he's such an iconic figure that like there was even a movie inspired by his life called The Harder They Come, with Jimmy Cliff.
That's about Ivanhoe?
Yep, Ivanhoe Martin.
It's a great movie. I did not know that.
Yep. And that Jimmy Cliff playing, of course, Ivanhoe Martin.
Yeah.
One of the best movies ever made, honestly, and I'm not saying that just because I'm Jamaican. And
it's
one of the
incredible.
Oh yeah,
folks. The Harder They Come, if you get your hands on it, is an incredible watch.
And there's also a book, adaptation by it. That was one of the few books that, particularly a quote unquote genre novel, but it was very deep, like quote unquote literary genre, literary crime novel that really dived into the life of Ivanhoe Martin from a fictional lens and kind of examining, Jamaica during that period. And a lot of social commentary. It was one of the few books, I think Harold Bloom liked it. And I was like, you like this? Him like this?
That's wild. Yeah.
It's a good book. I'm surprised he liked it.
To get that snooty level of approval is unbelievable.
Right?
Yeah. So no connection then to the famous novel.
No. Well, unless you consider the kind of ideas I have with the series in terms of like a picaresque type of romance, as having some connection overall, but overall, no, it's not connected to that. But it's folks, a fun happenstance.
Yeah, well, I am really excited about this. I have it in the chat, folks. So here's the cool thing. Very often on this show, we're talking about Kickstarters. And you get this really, remember, our focus here is indie creators. This is the stuff that needs to be showcased, not the stuff coming from the big 2 or 3. This is independent creators making what they feel in their hearts. Not the stuff that, has been proven to sell over and over again and is rehash after rehash, but brand new original ideas. And generally, what we're looking at are Kickstarters where you can crowdfund and get yourself some really cool stuff. What we've got today, though, is available for free, foolishly, on Global Comics. And if you look in the chat, I've put the link. It's what we're looking at on the screen right now. This is Ivanhoe, and the first issue is available and free. Will Sam be joining us?
Yes, he should be joining us soon. He should be joining us pretty soon.
Okay, great. So Sam Purata is the artist here, and Daniel G. Wilson is the writer, and I think a whole lot more. Did you letter as well?
No, Sam. We did this pretty much European style. Sam is a multi-talented artist. He did the art, obviously, and the lettering. And again, he hit out of the park on all fronts, and the cover as well. On the cover as well.
Yeah. So, folks, this is a beautiful comic, and let's take a look inside here. Again, I'm on Global Comics, and don't you dare do this during the show, but you can read it immediately. And we jump right in. Ivanhoe chapter 1 starts with action, and some great shadow work, which I'm going to want to talk to Sam about as well. Where did this come? Oh, wait, Sam is here. Hold on. Let's stop sharing and welcome to the stage, Sam Purata.
Hi, Sam.
Hey,
how you doing, Sam?
All good. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Welcome.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Great. Well, I'm doing good. Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled to have you on. We were just talking about, I just started showing the comic a little bit. And I'm going to I have a couple of questions for you, but I was asking right now, Daniel, where this came from. You work on so many projects. Daniel, why did this one float to the top for you to say, yeah, this is what I'm doing now?
Well, honestly, I love crime fiction. And for a lot of material comics, you don't really get a lot of Jamaican stuff, right? Jamaican stories, Jamaica in general does not get featured in comics globally, right? You read comics from anywhere for like a footnote. Uh Recently the Caribbean overall is kind of getting a bit of attention in like some European comics. In France, there's Havana Split. There was I'm forgetting the name, Carcoma, I think, Spanish comic published in France. But none of them take place in Jamaica. And Jamaica has such a very fascinating history, storytelling, a fascinating history just in terms of the history of the island, the culture. For God's sakes, we have a connection to Simone Bolivar.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, there should be more comics inspired by or set in Jamaica. And it's just a passion of mine, Jamaican history and everything else, among many other things.
Now, if I remember correctly, in Zona del Male, Aaron Brown, whose
Hmm?
t-shirt I am wearing, fraudkingart.com. Thank you, Tom Lynett, for getting me the t-shirt. You have a story with Aaron Brown that takes place in Jamaica. Am I correct?
Yep.
I'm looking for it right now. Which story is that?
It's old hag, really, but that's how it's spelled.
Okay. Why can't I find it at this moment? By the
It
way,
should be at the end.
Tom Lynett, who I mentioned, also has a story in this book,
Yep.
drawn by the great Sonia Kinsey.
And Sam
Um,
has one as well.
and say, yeah, yes. Uh, there it is. Oh my gosh, this is a beautiful comic. Aaron really knocked this out of the park. Ton of fun. And so you see that Daniel's been playing with Jamaican history for a little while. Again, in the chat, directly contact Daniel and get your copy of Zona del Male, and he will even write in it translation the bad touch place. All right, so I just like saying what you're gonna do and making people want it. Um, so you just this was what you wanted to focus on. Sam, how did you get involved in this project? Are you there, Sam?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having. I had a little bit of lag. Do you ask me something?
Yes, I wanted your mailing address, credit card number. No, uh, how how did you get involved? How did you get involved in Ivanhoe?
Oh yeah. From what I remember, I usually work as a freelance illustrator,
Okay,
and one of my main places, or well, the one of the main places I used to get work from was Reddit. That's where I get in contact with Daniel. At the beginning, we started working some short comics. Then, when the moment was right, he approached me with the idea of doing like an '80s action movie set in Jamaica. You know, that's the approach I have with this character. You know, to have something in the same line like movies from Jean-Claude Van Damme and all those guys. You know, from that era, the invincible Happy Trigger guy,
yeah,
something like that. It's what he was.
Yep.
Uh, and it was actually a really fun project to do. You know, I don't. I believe you you have checked it already, right?
I
The
read it. Yeah.
page in particular, in particular, the pages of the skateboard persecution. That's like for me, from my point of view, that's like the top the peak moment of action in the comic, and it's those are the pages, some of the pages that I have included in my forever, portfolio, so people can see, the kind of action that I can take to page. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I started working with Daniel. We met through Reddit, and it's been many comics with him.
This is a beautiful page. Uh, and,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
it's oh my, your art is wonderful. I love. Yeah, oh, my man, who I've been talking about, Aaron Brown is here again. That's whose shirt I'm wearing. Frog
Iron.
King Art in the chat. Go there, get your own shirt. He says, "Hey, y'all, we've got Claudio, who has the first story in this book, saying
Shucks.
Daniel G. Wilson is one of the best and most innovative writers I have read and illustrated for. He brings a unique twist to any story, and he's got an incredible comic in Zona del Male as well." I wanted to say, hold on, it's the Frog King. All hail the Frog King. Whoa, nice shirt. Thank you. Sam, I wanted to say that your work in this black and white grayscale that you've got going, your use of black with white images within it is so superb. And you balance it, even as we see here, throughout a page. What do you have inspiration for a particular? Are there particular artists that inspired you, or where does your style come from?
Well,
Look at
I
that.
think the main focus it's action sequences, because when I was growing up, when I was a toddler or elementary school, I remember that my parents took us and watched along with us a lot of action movies from that era, because it's like my parents was working all the time. They didn't have someone who can take care of us when they go to the movies and stuff like that. So just to put it in perspective, I saw Aliens, the movie, in cinema when I was 4 years old. The kind of gory violence that it's in that movie.
So,
Yes.
The
so,
kind of stuff I up with.
so you have been delightfully fucked up since the age of 4.
Yeah, yeah. I've been, the lack of, for a better word, the lack of correct supervision of media, because like my parents didn't know best. They allow us to watch movies and stuff like sci-fi, and yeah, I saw a lot of, for example, all the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies used to be playing all the time on regular television when I was growing up here in Mexico. And yeah, that's I think my main it's that I like to work comics that can be translated into real life action. The sequence. The importance of the sequence, and that sequence needs to be interesting. Something I talked a while ago with a friend of mine that also do those comics. Is he told me that every page needs to have something that make the page interesting. That one panel to wrap everything around. For example, in this page, I believe that one it's the bottom two panels, the one with the truck flying to
The
the
guardrail.
abyss, and the crash SFX. I feel that's the panel. The stuff you wrap everything around. And
It's
if you talk about
beautiful.
inspiration, direct inspiration on artists, I think in current time maybe the work of Daniel Warren Johnson and Ryan Otley in Invincible and Invincible
Ah,
comics. That's something, you know. I always, when I started with, drawing every day. I was like, you know, I want to be like Walmart Daniel Warren Johnson, you know, like the cheap alternative, something like that. That was my idea at the beginning. Right now, I've been exploring a lot of different ways of doing media. Uh, for example, the comic I have in Daniel's book, the Zona del Male, the I made the one of the guy in the bathroom. It's
oh, that's right.
that's mine, and I try to do the artwork to be something like crayons or chalk, you know, to have a very distinct look, you know.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. You said something earlier, which I think should be made into a comic title. The Invincible Trigger Happy. Is that what you said? Trigger Happy guy?
Yeah,
I love that. I think it's a great Invincible Trigger Happy guy. Sam, your art is so good. I just had on the screen probably my favorite panel in the book. I used it for the advertisement. This middle panel, your use of black and white here is so good. It's absolute. That is a staggeringly excellent panel, and it
yeah,
fits with your style. But it pops. If you look at the whole page, it pops out of the page, and
yeah,
it really gets a sense of someone in hiding, and also someone who is very dangerous. I absolutely love it.
yeah. And you know, for that one, I use something that I think that was used for Sin City. You know, I think you know Sin City, right? There's a
Of
lot of
course.
when you look at that art, you can think that, oh, it's using only black, but avoiding, you know, certain areas to create the illusion of using white ink. But right now, we are using digital media to create comics. We can actually use white ink, and that's something I use for this panel. The the lips around the character, it's, you know, it's black, you know, it's black lines, and I folded a little bit with black, but the character is black, and I use white ink, you know, white ink, digital ink, you know, to
Yeah.
have that high contrast image.
We've got Claudio saying the artwork reminds me of David B. And I'm going to say David Byrne of the Talking Heads, but I know that's not what he means. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. So, Daniel, you've got this incredible artist here, and you know that he can do action. How you lean into the action. This is one of your most action oriented stories that I've ever read. How was it writing that? Because very often you're very deep into the characters, and you are here as well. But this is so. How did you feel writing this action? Was it a challenge to move in that direction, or did it just flow out?
Well, generally when so sounds weird to say, but I'm something of a I tend to think visually, like when I write, whether I'm writing prose, poetry, anything, I usually think visuals. It's kind of like the how random I am. Like when I play guitar, for example, I play guitar like a bass player, and I play bass like a guitar player. I'm the reverse all the time. So I'm thinking, okay, this would look cool, and I don't really like cramming like a lot of words into my scripts. My scripts can be like wordy when they need to be, but I don't like just unnecessarily cramming words. And I like to write with the artist I'm working with in mind. And Sam, the fantastic artist that he is, basically is just like it's just like basically in my head, I'm just like, okay, I know I can throw anything out here. The the skateboarding sequence is a good example. It's a good example of that. I saw the pages and I'm just like, you know, like when you get a moment where you're just like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is amazing. I'm like, oh, okay. I need to see. I need to adjust the scripting for the next couple of pages. The other one I particularly loved, which wasn't an action scene, was the pages with the goats.
I was just I wanted to show that. I love that page. Hold on, let me get that on the screen. It's such a terrific image, and it's so point of view. You're just in the midst of this.
So the story there is it's Caribbean story, right? So what's going on is that there's a Haitian boat, gun running boat, trading guns that they get from the US to criminals in Jamaica, but then in exchange, the Jamaicans are giving them goats. And the reason why there are so many goats in a car is because in Jamaica, this is a truth thing. There are stories, more than one, of people literally in like, tell me like a car, like I think a Volvo is like a good size comparison, cramming like 6 goats inside and it runs inside like a car and just driving somewhere to like steal goats and like sell them.
This is all really great. We've got Claudia saying David B is a French comic book artist, and I'll add to that who also founded the Talking Heads. No. And Aaron says, "Oh, I love that page, Sam. Very impressive. Absolutely. This is another one of these great POV shots right here. The page before we see the goats clearly, and another great use of black and white. So let me ask this, Daniel, what's the story? If we pick up issue 1, what's our log line here? What are we getting into?
Issue 1, well, basically, it's a classic tale of a heist gone wrong. The heist, we don't actually see the heist. It's goat thievery. It's predial larceny is the term. You'll only hear that in Jamaica.
Say it again.
Predial larceny. It's an actual term used for like the theft of certain types of livestock.
That's great.
So the goats are stolen, and then Ivan, the main character, is hired. He's a hired gun. He's an ex-military guy who took up working as a hired gun in the late 90s. So he's there driving the car, and just to make sure nothing goes wrong, all hell breaks loose because a rival faction of the people who hired him are trying to get the guns and kind of mess with the deal. And so all hell breaks loose. So it's a heist gone wrong, but we don't actually see the heist. And the deal kind of goes through, but then things get messed up because they get the guns, and then, all hell breaks loose.
What's the military history? Because he was involved in a kerfuffle. What is the kerfuffle he was involved in as a military man, our main character?
Well, this isn't so much of a spoiler, but a hint toward what I'm kind of planning out. Basically, so if in the 80s and 90s, Jamaica was involved in very few military operations. But
I got someone at my sliding glass door doing vulgar things. Go on.
But some of them, I would have it where he was working as part of like a secret operations unit for the CIA, where they were like hiring Caribbean operatives, basically. And so he ends up leaving that in the early 90s, and then just comes to Jamaica, goes back to Jamaica, and decides to no longer work for like governments. And if he's gonna work for like awful people, he might as well just make a bunch of money doing it.
This is great. I really love the way you intertwine the background, his history with what's happening, and you keep the forward movement going, because we even the flashbacks are exciting. And Sam, you are a huge part of that, because as you've said, you make sure every page has something exciting on it. And even when people are talking, the angles, the action, the energy is very, very strong. Let me ask you, Sam, what kind of research did you need to do to accurately portray Jamaica?
I saw, you know, the jungle section is like no such. Can you hear me? I'm having some a little bit of lag. Can you hear me? Right?
We can hear you,
We
but
can hear
you are
you.
frozen. Yeah. You've been moving in still images like a
Yeah.
comic.
The internet is kind of it's playing against me right now. But yeah, for the jungle sections, you need to look at mostly in the internet. But here in where I live in a beach town, so a lot of the plants and trees and stuff. It's very similar to Jamaica, so I can have real life references to work around. And for the architecture and the environment of the first pages, where the character is walking around, I saw on the internet, the picture with the big clock,
Yeah.
the first landscape of the city. I believe it was a reference that Daniel sent me. Daniel has he does his job very well as an artist. First of all, because he provides you with a lot of references. He's like, IMDb pages about the character. I feel like the character can be this actor, or he can look like this, or cool pictures of people, in Jamaica, like in cars or in motorcycles, something that you can use on the background, or as as characters, ideas you can use. Um, Here, the first pages. But yeah, I look a lot for Jamaican restaurants of that around that time, around the 70s or the 80s. And that I try to portray that kind of a crude reality, that we live in third world countries, that it's not all clean and good looking like in America, for example. In USA, I like to say it better. But yeah, that idea, the architecture and the places that you can look at the internet. That's my main inspiration, references, and also what Daniel does. That he sent a bunch of pictures, a bunch of ideas of things he would like to see in the comic. Also, something that I would like to say about the work of Daniel that most writers I work with don't do, and that a lot of writers that are starting in the comic book environment needs to understand, it's how much things can you put on one page. I know it sounds like like it's like logic, oh god, no, but still, a lot of people I have worked with as like, I want to have this, like like they want, I don't know, like 18 panels per page or what,
Right.
or and also the other thing that I need to highlight about Daniel is that he gave me a lot of freedom of what I wanted to do, because sometimes the page was like panel one this, panel two this, and he knows that sometimes I'm like, I want to tweak a little bit, instead of having like one panel and two panels, wrap everything together and do something a little bit more interesting, especially in conversation sequences like in this one.
Yeah.
I feel like it's faster to do conversation pages, but it's way harder because you need to make everything look interesting. There's just
Yes.
two guys talking. But how can you avoid just have a page of floating heads talking all the time? You know,
It's
just
one of
have
the
two
most
faces
difficult
to
things.
faces. Yeah, and
But
that's
you
what I
did. I'm
wanted
looking.
to. Uh-huh.
Look at this page. You did it with this background, with the shadowing. By the way, I've got to compliment you. You are are incredible with teeth. The teeth in this book are amazing. I noticed.
100%.
By the way, folks, we got international tonight, right? Ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, click like on this bad boy, because this is the kind of shit that the art will not be changing brings you. We've got an incredible look at cultures, at history in this really cool, badass comic, beautifully drawn by Sam Purata and incredibly written by Daniel G. Wilson. And I'm looking at this image here, but I don't want to. I think you guys are a great team. And I actually feel a little bad about what I'm about to say, Sam. But if Daniel really appreciated what you were doing, he would have sent you on a fully paid trip to Jamaica by now. I'm just throwing that out there that this may be for issue 2 something that you bring up. I'm just saying. And don't let him send you to Canada. No, Jamaica.
I mean, a goal eventually would be to like go to a comic conventions around the Caribbean because they exist.
Yeah.
So, like, especially if we become guests of those, for those. But yeah.
Well, folks, this is right now fully available, and I've shown a lot of images from it. This is fully available on Global Comics. You could read this immediately, and I want you to look at the excitement, the energy, and what Sam is talking about here. Sam, you absolutely, I can see why you don't want too much on a page because you use your space and you break panels. You don't have borders on every panel. You have larger images. Your composition is absolutely staggering. I'm really a fan. We got Rob Toll, Monolith Jones is in the chat. He says these look great. Rob Toll is working on a comic for Fugitive Poems right now with the great Rufus Black writing. It's called Dido, and it's going to offend every one of your sensibilities. It's amazing. And a compliment from Rob Toll or Monolith Jones is a huge compliment indeed. Sam, how do I ask you this? When you said when you read the script you want some area to play in it, do you start seeing it as you're reading it, or do you have to read it and then think about what the composition would be? How does that flow work as you're looking at the script?
Well, the way I work, I have like a page around. Give me a second.
Sure. By the
You
way,
know,
you're the
this
most
is
dressed up anyone has ever gotten for my show. Thank you.
this for example. This is the first step I do for pages, something like this.
Okay.
You know, I make the composition in a single in a miniature. I do the storyboard and all that. Then I can start. Right now, I changed my way of working a little bit because right now I'm doing traditional pencils.
Mm.
I did at the time I work on Ivanhoe. I was doing all digital, but right now I'm working also, originals, uh, and that's how I do. I usually and I quite understand that it's a very bad practice what I do, but I don't read the full script. I read while I'm working on this, and I understand that it's a bad practice, but at the same time it gives me the chance, but that's the way I see it gives me the chance to step by step working on the pages, because if I read the whole thing, I start thinking on on page 20 there's something interesting happening, you know and maybe that will be my main goal to get to that page, and I might rush everything else just to get there, you know.
Okay.
And I would like to cover everything, every page slowly, so I can add something interesting to look at every page. Also, something that have been really that has allowed me to have a better practice on drawing and making pages. It's that in a very quick time lapse, I had the chance to meet a lot of guys from the Mexican comic book environment that are in very good positions. You know, for example, I know some Marvel artists that are from Mexico. I don't know if you're familiar with the work of Alba Gonzalez.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I had the chance to meet her in person, and she gave me some advices on how to make better pages. So I've been a really lucky person to be around the correct people at the correct time. You know,
That's
because
great.
I started drawing during the pandemic, and it was like really quickly. For example, one of my other good friends in comics, it's called Wesley Price, who owns a production company. I do animations and comics with him, and he working with him allowed me to develop as an artist while I was getting paid, and that's something that doesn't happen. You know,
No.
that doesn't happen at all. And I was really lucky to meet him. I was also really lucky to meet Daniel because he made a comic. We made a comic together, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I made it, and it's there, and whatever." You know, he is actively promoting the book. He's reaching people, and that's something that not everybody does. You know,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
people like, "Oh yeah, I made this for a contest. I won or didn't won, and that's it." But Daniel, it's moving. It's doing stuff, you know. And not
Well,
everybody it's like that. And having the opportunity to work with something with someone that it's as proactive as him, to be in contact with him, it's I think it's very important, you know, because it gives the thing you do a lot of uh, a lot of direction, you know,
yes.
and you can keep growing. You don't stay static, and when people look at your work, it also allow you to understand what you can do better.
100%. And I mean, you are doing beautiful work here. And I love that Daniel is really promoting this. I was so glad when you reached out to be on the show. Where is Ivanhoe going? When do we see issue 2? Because folks, right now, Global Comics. Let's get that back in the chat as soon as the show is over. Not sooner, but as soon as the show is over, you're gonna want to go to Global Comics and read this for free. When do I get issue 2, Daniel?
Good question.
Damn it!
And that's that
Damn it!
that's my fault, actually. That's my fault, because Daniel gave me the script a long time ago, and I actually need to start working on that. But you know, a lot of shit has happened in between,
Yeah.
and he understands. You know, he's very supporting of all my problems, because you know, I can talk about that because it will, you know, like a little bit of backstory. In between Ivanhoe 1 and the script of Ivanhoe 2, I have a daughter. Right now, she's 1 year old. But
Congratulations!
at the moment she my wife gave birth, she got some medical issue to attend, so a lot of bills. Then in February, I was in a near die situation because I got a very bad health issue in my liver. I needed emergency surgery.
My gosh.
And right now, I'm the next month I'm going to have all the money done. I will have finally I will get free from credit cards.
Yeah.
But right now, all my time is going to my day job, and all the comics that I do are in the need to be paid work.
Yeah.
And gladly, I must be glad, because I'm full time occupied. I have a lot of stuff to do right now. The other day I was talking to my wife. I need to do right now. I have on my plate like 5 pages left to do, but I'm going to be working slowly, better, working as much as I can to get rid of all that, because I also have a lot of ideas that I want to do in comics, self-published. I have some uh, some ways that I think are like uh, good ways to reach people, to make people read comics. Because right now with the internet, there is a lot of competition, and you need to have a really good plan on how can you approach new readers. Because we're not fighting for money, we're fighting for attention, and
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
that's even a little bit more complex thing, because people right now are not like into buying shit because everything
No.
is internet for free. Right now,
Yep.
it's how can you compete for people time and attention, and we
Yeah.
need to be grateful for places like global comics that allow us to put our thing and have an audience, and also the opportunity of making a little bit of money to to keep supporting the comic book production. But
Yeah.
right now I'm the main subject on why Ivanhoe 2 is not done yet, but it's going to happen. Don't worry, it's going to happen.
Well, it needs to, because it's awesome and your art is amazing. Congratulations on the birth of your daughter. That's so cool. I am sorry for everything you've been going through, and I'm glad that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And listen, I'm not a doctor, but a little medical advice is that I think that if Daniel paid for an all expense paid trip to Jamaica, you would be much better. I just throwing that out. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I think it's sound medical advice.
I mean, hey, if any publishers are interested in a Jamaican crime story, Arisa, we could, hey, publish Iris to finish this book, and we'll do some research trips.
There we go. See, I think this would be great. Daniel, so Ivanhoe 2 is in the can. You've written it. We're gonna wait on that. Right now, we can read one. And folks, don't be like, "Well, two's not out. I don't need to read one yet." No, it even by itself, it is an exciting, badass read. The art is stellar. The story is complex but immediately engaging. I can't recommend it enough. I had such a great time reading it. And the cool thing is you can read it right now too. You don't have to back a Kickstarter. You don't even have to pay for it for some ridiculous reason. But you can read it right now and get yourself ready for Ivanhoe 2. Daniel, what's in the hopper? What's coming next?
Well, speaking of what you can read in the meantime as well, in addition to Ivanhoe, there are a few other collaborations me and Sam have done that you can also see on that's up there on my Global Comics. I I am there's a little thing that I'm aiming for this summer, which is to release a bit of a compilation of work that
Okay.
me and Sam have done.
So you have more on Global Comics.
Yep. And one unpublished thing, and something that was in an anthology 2 years ago that we did, that was about Jamaican food, oddly enough.
That
Yeah,
I'm in.
I think I have that one here. Let me check it.
Folks, if you here, let's take a look. I just put in the chat, DJW. on Global Comics. And yeah, holy cow, go read Ivanhoe and then go read Suono Maestoso and Astral Orchid and Junjo Episode 2 and Brain Drain and Junjo. Oh my lord, it just keeps going. Lepus Spiritus, which I think is part of the original Catholic Latin Mass. Lepus Spiritus. Donovan
Do you remember
Mendes.
this one?
Oh,
hold
yeah,
on. Let me give you the screen.
that's
Look at that.
Coramonti. That was a collaboration me and Sam did for a Canadian anthology that was rooted in music.
All right, folks, you've been looking at the art. Can you keep showing pages? You've been looking at the art of Ivanhoe, and I want you to notice how different this art is and understand the absolute flexibility of Sam Purata, who draws for the tale. He uses the style of the tale to pick a style of his art. You saw that in the Zona del Male as well. Look at this, folks. Absolutely. Look at that right-hand page. Holy shit. Oh, we got Monolith Jones saying beautiful. Oh, this is some great work. Beautiful.
Yeah, this one is from In Service Comics.
Okay.
It's called The Setlist. It's an anthology book. You know, I run with the. I met the editor online on Instagram, and he told me he was putting a book together. So I told Daniel the idea of doing a short story, because I don't know if you asked him or if he told you, but Daniel used to be a very cool musician as well,
Yes.
and he had some music, and I told him, hey, we can use this one. This song sounds interesting, and he made a story for this book.
Okay, so what I'm hearing here is a beautiful thing. You guys have formed a partnership, a collaboration. You understand each other. Daniel is, as a writer, and I'm speaking as a writer, is insanely lucky to have found
Yes.
an artist that he connects with and that connects with him. And you guys are putting out beautiful work, folks. I put it in the chat. Global Comics. Go to the DGW page. It's right there. And you got reading upon reading, tons of great stuff. And Sam's work is gorgeous, gorgeous. And he had, you said that Daniel was a very cool musician. It's funny because every time he brings that up, he really, really focuses on the very cool part. But it just is repeated over and over again. Folks, this is The Art Will Not Be Changing. What a cool conversation we've had tonight. Go and subscribe to the channel. All right, ring the bell, hit the bell so you find out every Thursday night at 8. There's going to be one Thursday night in July we're not going to be on. You're going to be heartbroken because I'm going to be away. You don't want to miss a show. You don't want to miss a show. You don't want to miss your Christian De Matteo. Come on, I'm amazing, and I'm wearing a Frog King art shirt. You can't go wrong here. And we have people like Daniel and Sam on this amazing show. Ring the bell for notifications. Hit like on this episode because how could you not? Subscribe to the channel. And folks, in the chat, read Ivanhoe. You can go. I'm giving you permission. In about a minute and a half, you're allowed to go read it. And then go read all these other great comics. You do not want to miss the art of Sam Purata. And you do not want to miss the writing of Daniel G. Wilson. Claudio was not wrong at all when he said earlier that Daniel G. Wilson owed him money. No, that wasn't it. DJW is one of the best and most innovative writers I have met and illustrated for. He brings a unique twist to any story. And now that I've met Sam and gotten to see this variety of his art, this is a dream team, folks. So I want you to go and check it out. Daniel, Sam, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was an honor to have you.
No, thank you
Pleasure's up.
for having us.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Pleasure's
Oh,
all
we
ours.
got Monolith Jones saying, I'm going to read it tonight. There we go. There we go. Not till after the show ends. I hope to have you guys on again. Sam, keep me posted on what you're doing. Daniel, dude, I always want to know what you're doing. And you're always welcome on the show. Thank you for this. Folks, I am Christian DeMatteo. This is the Fugitive Poem Show called The Art Will Not Be Changing. We are Fugitive Poems, and we make comics.